Hello everybody and welcome back. It is Marissa and we are here for Christmas. So I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. I know Christmas is not merry for everyone, but I do hope that this helps. So what we're going to do today is, as you can see, I have my wreath making supplies out. So one of my favorite things to do at Christmas is to give to others. I love to do it all year round, but especially at Christmas, I like to try to pick someone that, has just brought me some joy and maybe bring them a little bit of joy. So there's a lady that lives in the complex that I live in, and she makes it a point to come by all the time so that she can see the wreaths that I put out on my door. So this year I thought it would be really fun to make a wreath for her that she can hang on her door. So that's what we're going to do today. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to do the Christmas tag, or a Christmas tag that I found online, so that I have some talking points to fill the time with. So what you're going to need, your basic supplies to make a wreath. You're going to need a wreath form. This one came from the Dollar Tree. I think it's a 14-inch wreath form. This is the one that I use for pretty much all of the wreaths that I do. So we're going to use that. So you need one of those. You need some kind of decoration. So I usually like to get like some bigger decoration, but I actually have this, and I've had this for a couple of years. I have one on my door as well. And it's just a little stake that came from Michael's a couple of years ago. I went ahead and it was so freaking cute. I went ahead and bought an extra. So I am going to use this, and I'm probably just going to put it down in the center. So I may have to figure out if I can bend and break this stick off just a little bit, because I don't have a Dremel tool. If I had a Dremel, it'd be really easy to just cut it, but I'll make it work. So that's, one of those fun things about crafting is making it work. So some kind of decoration to go on there. You're going to need pipe cleaners. So I had some white ones that I had already cut for a different project. And then I have some red sparkly foil ones that came in a set like this from the Dollar Tree. A lot of my stuff comes from Dollar Tree. For those of you that have never been to my channel, I do a lot of Dollar Tree crafts. I like buying craft supplies at Dollar Tree because it's just so much cheaper. So I have 2 rolls of deco mesh. I have a darker green and then a lime green, which in this light, I'm working on the lighting in my apartment, guys. I'm sorry. It's winter. It's dark. But these are 2 rolls. I have previously used them, but we're going to use those both in conjunction with some red, also from Dollar Tree. And then I have already cut some white spirals, and I don't know if you can see this white has red running through it. So I thought it would be really cute to put in here. And so you just cut them in about 5 inches. And they'll roll up, and we'll help them roll a little bit tighter when we put them on the wreath. So I cut 1 roll this size, and then I had like maybe like a quarter of the roll of one that I had already opened left, and so I went ahead and cut that up. Also, and then this is all of my, well, not all of my Christmas ribbon. This is all the Christmas ribbon that matches this color theme. So you can see, I don't know which ones I'm going to use yet, but they're all really cute. So I will find something. I need to really use some of these, because that's like, guys, look how much is left. There's so much of this. So that's what we're going to do today while I do the Christmas tag. You're also going to need a pair of wire cutters. Mine are the heavy duty ones that I like to use to cut my pipe cleaners. You're going to need a pair of scissors. And we're just going to kind of go from there. Let me kind of clear myself a space here to use. I'm going to go ahead and use these since they're already cut first. So to make a wreath like this, what you're going to do first is we're going to put on our base layers. And I'm going to show you a couple of different techniques while we're putting on base layers. Yes, I am wearing 2 different pairs of socks, or 2 different socks from a pair. These are my fuzzy socks. They came from Dollar Tree also. I have several pairs of these fuzzy socks. I love wearing them in the winter time. So, it is what it is, right? Okay, so we're going to take this really pretty green. I hope, oh, you can see the sparkle and the shine. It's really sparkly. It's the metallic kind. So you can see it gives you lots of shimmer. It catches the sun really well, and it catches lights really well. Now, I don't light my wreaths just from personal choice. But if you choose to light your wreath, it's super easy. You can get a battery-powered fairy lights and use that. So what you're going to do is you're just going to gather up the end like this. You're going to take one of your pipe cleaners, and these are a cut in half, I believe. And then I always start at one of the bars here. So you can see there's 6 sections. So there's 6 bars, and I always start at one of the bars, and I kind of tuck this in like so. Wrap your pipe cleaner down and around and get a nice solid start. There we go. And then what you're going to do is you're going to flip it over and just twist it nice and tight to secure it. And this is one of the reasons I like using pipe cleaners, just because they're super easy. Okay? So then what we're going to do is we're going to do the gather and poof method, is what I call it. So you just gather up, make a poof, and you secure it. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to go all the way around. I'm going to do the lime green on top of that, and then do the red on top of that. So we're going to have several layers of it. So don't stress out that you can see things through the mesh at the moment. We will come back and take care of it. And I like to kind of zigzag back and forth across the wreath. I feel like that is a really good way to get coverage. Okay, so the first tag question is, who is your favorite person to buy presents for? I don't really have a favorite person that I buy presents for. I enjoy buying for everyone. Some people stress me out a little more than others because they may like maybe like a series, like a anime or something, and I just don't know enough about it to know what like a good present is to get them. So that kind of stresses me out because I like being a good gift giver, and I want to get somebody something that they want or something that they really like. And so, you know, people that I know really well, obviously they're easier for me to buy for because I know exactly where to go, what to get, all of that kind of stuff. So my sister is super easy to shop for. I really enjoy shopping for her because I just see cute stuff throughout the year, and then I just buy it and save it up and give it to her as a big Christmas gift package thing. So I do enjoy buying for her. But yeah, I like buying for everyone. One of the things you're going to make these poofs try to make them about the same size if you can. Okay. Then the next question is, what kind of food did you leave for Santa when you were little? I honestly think we probably just did cookies and milk. I don't really remember doing it all that much because we had pets. And so pretty much anything that you left out, it had to be dog friendly or cat friendly because they were likely to be the ones to actually eat it. So, you know, we didn't leave anything chocolate or things like that that would make them sick if they accidentally got in it. But yeah, I think it was like cookies or, you know, different things, little treats like that. When you don't like a present, are you honest or do you pretend to love it? Honestly, so it depends who has given that present to me. So if it is someone that I know really well, I will, you know, do it in a way that, or try to do it in a way that their feelings don't get hurt. But I don't know that I've ever really got a present that I just like really didn't like. No, I did. I have. I did last year for Christmas. My Secret Santa was not very good last year. And so I got a present that didn't fit. It was very much too small for me. I was kind of offended, honestly. But I didn't say anything to them. I just said thank you, and I gave it to someone that could actually wear that article of clothing. I don't think like, I really try not to hurt people's feelings when they're gift giving, because I know a lot of people try very hard and it's just not their thing. They're not good at it, or they don't know what to get, you know, or different things like that. You know, you never know what somebody's going to. So I try to give them a little bit of grace and kindness. I'm not the best at it. I do have to kind of check myself pretty regularly. And, yeah, it's one of the things I'm working on. But especially when it comes to gifts, I feel like, you know, people have enough stress. They wanted to get you something. So even if I don't love it, I will, you know, definitely say thank you. Definitely, you know, try to respond in the spirit that the gift was given. So I guess that would be my answer. Which ornament has the most significance to you? I actually have quite a few ornaments that have a lot of significance for me. I do collect ornaments as kind of like memory keepers. So when I go somewhere new, or if something really, like a really big event has happened that year, I'll get an ornament that kind of represents that event. So I have quite a few on my tree that, you know, I love decorating the tree because you're reminded of all of those really lovely memories. Okay, so I'm almost to the end of my roll here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trim off the roll like so. And go ahead and secure this end in. Make another poof out of it. And then I'm going to actually secure this with the same one that I started with. So you can see we're back around here. Anywho, so yeah, I have several ornaments that have a lot of significance to me. Those are the ones that are my favorite to put on the tree every year. I do put on the ball ornaments and things like that, but those are my favorite ones. Do you have a real tree? Did you have a real tree or a fake tree when you were little? So we had a real tree, I think 1 or 2 years when I was little, but my allergies are pretty bad. And so the pine scent would really get to my sinuses, and I would have a lot of issues, you know, maybe with like breathing, or, you know, my sinuses would get congested. I get a sinus infection, those kinds of things. And so we actually went to a fake tree because of that, and because honestly, artificial trees are just easier to maintain. You know, you don't have to water them. You don't have to try to get them in the stand and make them stand up like you're supposed to, and, you know, all of those kinds of things. So we had, most of my years, we had a fake tree. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you notice I kind of rotated a little bit. I didn't start in the same place as I did the dark green. So I kind of moved down just a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to kind of zigzag into the spaces where there's holes. So like right here, I'm going to base this one here, and then I'll come over here and I'll base it here. So you're going to kind of zigzag the opposite direction of the way that you did the dark green. And we're going to put our light green on. Let me move these over here. They'll be easier to reach. So you just secure that the same way. I like using the sparkly pipe cleaners because they, when you're done, they kind of look more like they're part of the wreath than like the white ones. We'll be able to hide those. When did you find out the truth about Santa? I don't actually remember when I found out the truth about Santa, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was pretty early on. I'm one of the youngest out of my cousins. And so I have a feeling that one of the older cousins probably let it slip that Santa wasn't real, but I don't remember like the event, the actual event happening. But if I had to make a guess, it was probably one of them that ruined it for me. So they were kind of mean back then. Let's see. Do you usually buy your pet's presents for Christmas? So I don't currently have a pet. I would buy my pets stockings, And then, so like I would get my dog, if I have a dog, you know, they sell those dog stockings that have all the treats and things like that in them. I would usually do something like that, and put them in their stocking and then give them to them on Christmas Day. And then, if I have, you know, I've had cats as well. And so for them, I would, you know, get them some toys or some treats that maybe were a little more expensive, you know, that they didn't get all the time. You know, get them some extra treats, a toy, you know, something along those lines. Maybe a new pet bed or something like that. So yes, I did buy my pets presents. If you want to call them presents. I mean, you know, I just bought them a few things, but I gave them to them on Christmas. So I guess that qualifies as presents. Have you ever seen the tree in Rockefeller Center? I have not. I would like to go to New York. I've literally driven through New York City. So I went up a few years ago. A friend of mine lived in Pennsylvania, and I went up in the fall, and we drove from Pennsylvania to Boston. And when you drive that, the way that we went, you have to go through New York City to get there. And so we drove through, I think we were in the Bronx, but don't quote me on that. Somebody that knows better than me will probably correct me, and that's okay. But yeah, so we drove through the Bronx, I think. And again, guys, I'm back around to the beginning. So I'm just going to use that same tie off there, and then I'm going to trim it. So no, but we were there in the fall. It was actually the week of Halloween was when we were there. But I would like to someday. I'd love to go see the Rockettes perform, the Radio City Rockettes, and, you know, go ice skating and do all of the things like that. All right, so what we're going to do is, you can see we still have some bare spots. A lot of this is going to get covered. So I'm just going to go in with the red, and I'm going to use this whole roll of red on here. So I'm just going to kind of go in and kind of do the same thing I did with the green. We're just going to do another layer with the red. Do you prefer giving gifts or getting gifts? Let's be honest, guys. Everybody loves to get gifts. I do feel kind of awkward sometimes because I don't always know how to respond, if that makes sense. So I get super excited, and I'm like, I get really touched when someone sends me something, especially if it's, you know, something really thoughtful or something they know I really want. So like last year for Christmas, my best friend, who is an amazing gift giver, she's so good at it. She got me a Ancestry DNA kit. And I'd been wanting one, and I was like, well, I'll save up, you know, when I get my tax money, and I'll go ahead and get myself one. But I'd really been wanting to do it. I'd gotten, you know, a little into the genealogy. I'd become a member of the Scottish Society. So I was doing all of those things. And, you know, those are questions that come up pretty often when you do events. People ask you, you know, well, what is your, you know, have you had your DNA done? And so I was really, really wanting to do it. And, so I went ahead and opened that gift, and I literally started crying on Christmas because I was just so touched. I was so excited that I couldn't even, like, handle myself. And, you know, they're laughing at me. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. So yeah, I get a little emotional sometimes, but I love getting gifts, and I love giving gifts. I love those of you that have participated in the Secret Santa. You know, I have said, I really truly do love to see you guys' reaction. Y'all are so excited, you know, to get these gifts. You're so happy with them. And it truly does make me happy to see you guys that way. And just like, I didn't even send those gifts, but just the fact that I organized it and brought some joy to people. You know, I feel like there's too much bad in the world, and we need to try to bring joy to each other if we can. So yeah, I love both in equal measure. I have as much fun getting gifts as I do giving gifts out. And I think if most of us are honest, I think that's probably, I feel like most people are kind of at that same thing. You know, they enjoy giving, they also enjoy getting. Let's see here. Find my, make sure you get your post when you're securing these. So I'm just filling in anytime, anywhere I can see like a blank space. And of course these are much shorter, much smaller loops than the greens were. Okay. Do you prefer gingerbread cookies or sugar cookies? I love both. But if I had to choose one, I would probably choose sugar cookies. Just because gingerbread can get a little overwhelming. Or at least to me, it can get a little overwhelming. Especially if they're really strong gingerbread cookies. So yeah, I prefer sugar cookies. There's so many things that you can do with them. You can do toppings, you can do icing, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I would say probably gingerbread. Have you ever gone caroling? I have gone caroling. We went, I went a couple of different times, like in high school and college. I was in the choir in elementary and middle school. And so I would, you know, we would go caroling at like the nursing homes and different places around town during the holiday season. And then when I was in college, I was in a group and we would do the same thing. We would go to different places in town and go caroling there. And so I really enjoyed doing that. I enjoy meeting the people and talking to, you know, older or more mature people, however you want to say it. I feel like they have a lot of stories to tell, even if they don't realize it or if they don't think their stories are important. I think their stories are important. So yeah, I loved that. I'm not the best singer, but you know, I'm not tone deaf either. So I can remember we were doing one and it, our star singer, I should say, she was sick and so she wasn't able to come. She was supposed to do this solo and I ended up having to do it and it was not great. It was not in my pitch. It was not in my range. Everybody smiled. Everybody supported me and clapped and everything like that. But I was absolutely terrified that I was going to mess it up. And of course, when you get nervous and you're trying to sing, then your voice gets pitchy. So yeah, it was a real pitchy rendition of Silent Night. But, you know, everybody was really graceful and really nice about it. Probably nicer than the actual performance deserved, but I'm still grateful for it. All right, let's see. What is your favorite holiday song? So I love listening to the older songs, like the, you know, Nat King Cole and, you know, things like Silent Night. I really like the older versions, kind of that traditional Christmas music. My favorite fast song for Christmas is probably, well, it's Rocking Around the Christmas Tree. I love that one. I feel like it's just so much fun. And then I would say my favorite slow song at Christmas is probably White Christmas or A Christmas Song, the Chestnuts Roasting song. Yeah, it's kind of a mashup. I love all of the old stuff. I like some of the new stuff, but I really kind of gravitate when I listen. I've lost my scissors. Hold on, guys. I really kind of gravitate towards those traditional songs that we grew up listening to more than modern songs. I did really like Kelly Clarkson's, Wrapped in Red album that she put out a few years ago. I did enjoy that. And, I'm actually going to leave that like that because that end is kind of looking spirally. So that actually turned out kind of neat. We're going to leave that there. Let it do its thing. Okay, so now you can see you've got some pretty good coverage for your wreath. You can't really see your wreath form in the middle. You can't really see. We're actually going to use these pipe cleaners in here, so once we get our ribbon and stuff on, you won't really be able to see it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to set this to the side, and we're going to take our ribbon. So let's see, what do we want to use? I want to use the red glitter because let's see how much of it is. Yeah, so we're going to use the candy cane stripes, and there's going to be red glitter everywhere, which is awesome. We're going to use, well, we're not using that one because there's not much left. So we'll use this one. And then I feel like we have stripes, so we'll put that one back, and then this one, I think. So I do like to use different lengths. I'm just checking to make sure I have enough. Different lengths of ribbon and different widths of ribbon. So I like to use different widths of ribbon. So these are the 3 we're going to use here. Put all that paper shred back in there. And set that off to the side. And then set this off to the side. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through, and I do stick a straight pin, which I'm actually going to put right here, in my ribbon to keep them wound. It's a really cool party trick for you. And we're going to do this in sections of about that long. What is that, about 10 inches, 8 to 10 inches, something along those lines? We're just going to kind of wing it, guys. We're winging it. I'm sorry, I'm trying to check my minute count. Upside down. His favorite holiday song, we did that one. Do you usually put a star or an angel on the top of your tree? So growing up, we always had an angel on our tree. And I can recall a sparkly star, like one of those stars that lit up in different colors in like the multicolors. But I think that was at like my aunt's house or something. I think she's the one that had the star. I'm not positive, but I do remember seeing a star somewhere growing up. My first couple of trees, when I, first moved out on my own, I did have an angel. And then I went to, a couple years ago, I found this really cool, well, I say a couple years ago, it's been like 10 years ago, I found this really cool metal snowman's hat that I absolutely adore. I still have it. When I have my big tree, I have a 7.5-foot tree that won't fit in this apartment. And so when I have that tree up, it's perfect for that. And I use it on that tree. It's red. It's all these colors, but it's got polka dots on it. It's red with polka dots of these different colors and glitter and everything. Oh, it's fantastic. I think I found it at Hobby Lobby. I absolutely love it. So I actually have a snowman's hat. And then the last few years with this smaller tree that I have now in the apartment, I basically just do a bow with different kinds of ribbon. It's been, tartan bow the last couple of years that I put on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm doing 6, guys. 6 of each kinds of ribbon. 6 lengths of it, if that makes sense. So yeah, so lately it's been a bow. I just kind of go from year to year. I really like the people that like do the, they get the, oh, what are they called? I'm sorry, guys. The picks and different things like that with like the curlies and all of that kind of stuff, and really do like a whole tree topper, like crazy tree topper kind of a thing. It doesn't really fit my tree style, but I love the way that those look. So I feel like, maybe one day I'll have a super fancy tree and I can do that. Okay. So we've got our ribbon cut. Some of it's longer than others. That's fine. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our edges pretty. So I'm just going to take these and line them up, fold them in half, and then when you use the ribbon whatever ribbon that you use in a wreath like this, guys, you need to make sure it's got a wire edge on it. A wire edge will make it stand up nice and pretty. You'll be able to kind of work it around a little bit and make it do exactly what you want it to. So you're going to fold it in half to where the wire edges are out, and you're going to cut at an angle like so. And then when you open it up, you have your pretty edges there. And of course, I'm not perfect at it, and that's okay. Because I believe crafts don't have to be perfect. I'm not a perfectionist by any means for most things, especially when it comes to wreaths and things like that. I feel like they have character when they're not perfect. Okay, back on task. Get back on task, Marissa. Focus. Do you own an ugly Christmas sweater? I do not own an ugly Christmas sweater. I own a Christmas sweater. I own a couple of ugly Christmas t-shirts because, like, today it was 70 degrees here and it is, you know, mid-December. So a lot of years a t-shirt is more practical than a sweater. So I do have one sweater that I wear. I think I got it at like Marshall's or TJ Maxx or somewhere like that. But it's actually very pretty. It's got, you know, it sparkles, of course. We love our sparkle. And I think it says "Let It Snow" or something along those lines. I would love to have one of those super really ugly sweaters that everybody just looks at and just rolls their eyes because it's so horrible, but I won't ever buy one, so I probably won't ever have one. That's okay. Do you open your presents on Christmas or Christmas Eve? So I moved in when I was in college. I lived on my own for a couple of years, and then my student teaching semester I moved in with my best friend, and of course I was there over Christmas that year. And one of the really cool traditions that she does, and I've spent several Christmases with them since then. One of the really cool traditions that she does is she buys everybody new pajamas. So we get Christmas pajamas on Christmas Eve. So everybody goes and we put on our new pajamas, and we will go out and look at Christmas lights, and we will read, like we read the night before Christmas. Have a couple of different books and things we read, and then we usually read the Christmas story in the Bible, or at least, you know, bits of it, kind of a thing. So that's like one of my favorite traditions is the pajamas on Christmas Eve. And so we usually get those on Christmas Eve, and then we will get the rest of our presents on Christmas Day. Now, growing up, we usually got to open one gift on Christmas Eve, and then you could open all the rest of your gifts on Christmas Day. And I know a lot of families that did that, and then I know a lot that didn't, but ours did. So that was usually what we got to do. Have you ever kissed someone under the mistletoe? Not that I can recall, honestly. I don't think I have. That's kind of sad, isn't it? I should make that a priority this year. I'll see what I can do, guys. I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated. Do you go to church for midnight mass? I do not go to church for midnight mass. I'm not Catholic. I am a Protestant, and I know some Protestant churches have midnight mass, but I've never been to one. Usually at midnight, we're still wrapping presents. When Zoe was little, who's my niece, we were still putting together presents a lot of times at midnight to make sure that everything was ready for Christmas morning. Would you prefer for it to snow on Christmas Day or stay sunny? So considering most Christmases that I have had in my lifetime, it has been sunny. And a lot of times, you know, 65 degrees or so. I really want it to be snowing. I can remember for sure like 2 white Christmases in my lifetime here in Texas. So yeah, I would love to have a white Christmas. They're so much fun. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I take all 3 ribbons and I kind of stack them, and we'll kind of alternate the way that we stack them. But you just kind of stack them, and then you're going to take your little curly cues, and you don't have to do this step if you don't want to. I just think it adds a lot. And I'm actually going to add 2, and I'm going to overlap them. So normally when you do these little curly cues like this, you would do them with the green ribbon, a size of the green ribbon. So you can see how much longer that is. This is a 10-inch roll, and these ones from Dollar Tree are 5 inches. So this is the way that I figured out to kind of mimic the look of the curly cues from the long ones from the Dollar Tree ribbon. So you just kind of overlap them a little bit, and then because this is where you're going to secure it, you can't really tell once you get that done. And then you're going to go back down in here, and you notice that a lot of these are just standing up. There's still space in there. You're going to take all of that, and you're just going to secure it in with the pipe cleaner that's already in there. And make sure you get them down really good. Okay, and we're going to come back and fluff later. So I'm just going to continue to do that, and I'll just vary my order. So like I'll do this one, we'll put this one on top, and then we'll put this one in the middle. So just kind of vary it. I feel like that gives it a really cool look when you're finished, to do it that way. Just my personal opinion. Let's see here. Have you ever had your picture taken with a mall Santa? I absolutely have had my picture taken with a mall Santa. I used to go every year. Even when I was in college, we would go and have that done. And I think it's just a really fun thing to do. The last couple years, I haven't had it taken with a mall Santa, but we have a kilted Santa that comes. He's part of Clan Claus, and he comes to our Scottish Society meeting, and we take our pictures with him. So I got my picture today, just earlier today. He came to the meeting to check in on all the kiddos, and I got to take my picture with Santa. Have you ever regifted something someone gave you? Absolutely. I am a regifter. I am not ashamed of it at all. So I have regifted, and usually it's things like bath products or things like that that people get you that are just kind of, you know, a random gift that you could give to anybody. There have been a couple years where I've been especially poor and I have had to regift things, or like if you have somebody that surprises you, that like last minute changes to your Christmas guest list, and you need to come up with a last minute gift, but you're like broker than a joke, I will take something that I may have been given and regift it. So yes, I'm a regifter. And if it's something that, like, if I get something and I know somebody has like been hankering for it, a lot of times I'll regift that. I hope that doesn't make me cheap, but you know, it is what it is. We all got to do what we got to do. Do you consider yourself a Grinch? I would say it depends on the year. Some years I'm better than others. I don't think I've ever gone full Grinch. I have my moments. I think we all do during the holidays, especially because you just get so worn down sometimes that it can be hard to, you know, keep that happy Christmas spirit up, especially when you start getting tired. Everything is stressful. You have so much to do, not enough time to do it in. But no, I think for the most part, I'm actually pretty good. I really love the holidays. This year, I haven't really been feeling it so much. It's not so much being a Grinch. It's like I just can't quite get into the Christmas spirit this year as much as I normally am. I'm usually like so excited. I'm watching Christmas movies in November. I'm doing all the things. And I just can't get it going this year. which holiday song annoys you the most? So Baby It's Cold Outside. I've never liked that song. It just, ugh, it annoys the hell out of me. And then probably Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You, just because it's basically on repeat. And I think I just get like, it's like anything that you get on the radio and they just play it and play it and play it. I get super tired of those kinds of songs very quickly. So like, yeah, I don't listen to a lot of radio. Shocker, right? But yeah, so I think that one gets annoying just because you hear it over and over and over again. But yeah, those are definitely my two least favorite songs to hear. We're going to stick one, actually. I think we're going to stick it in this red here. Have you ever built a gingerbread house before? I tried. It did not go well. We'll just leave it at that. It didn't go well. It kind of collapsed halfway through. And then we proceeded to eat it instead. So, yeah. It was a little Hansel and Gretel of us, but we made it work. Excuse me. I'm going to get a sip. I did find this at Dollar Tree today. It says Make It Merry. And it actually has the slider on the top, which is what I really like in my reusable cups like this. And I am just drinking ice water. I gotta stay hydrated. But yeah, so that's probably the most annoying song to me. Do you do your holiday shopping online or visit the actual store? Nowadays, it's kind of a combination of the two. So I actually went out this morning and I found a few things at some in-person stores. But I actually placed the bulk of my Christmas shopping order on Friday from Amazon. So I kind of do a bit of both. Okay, so what we're going to do here, guys, as you can see, I've got all of my ribbon pieces on the wreath. You can see how nice and full that it looks. I'm actually really excited about this one. It's coming out really well so far. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to go through and you're just going to kind of fluff. And this is where the wired ribbon becomes your friend, because you can see I can just kind of spread it out and it does this fantastic thing where it stays where you put it for the most part. And you don't have to be gentle with it. I mean, obviously don't, do too much yanking around, but you can just kind of go with the flow. I don't know that I like this one's gonna give me some trouble with the way it's laying, I think. So I didn't get my green quite long enough. I do have plenty of it. So if I may go back in and add some more in. But there's little pops of it here and there, so I think I'm okay with it. We'll see how it looks when we get it completely finished. Rotate it again. Switch them around just like that. Okay. So there we go. There is a really cool, nice big wreath. This is a very fluffy wreath, guys. This is what the back looks like. And there we go, like that. And then what we're going to do is we actually may not have to worry about cutting it. I can actually take my stake and just put it in there. So I'm gonna figure out where I'm gonna put this. I like doing the wreath this way because I'm really bad at bows. And so I don't feel like you have to have like a really big bow on this one like you do on some of the other wreaths. So there's not really a top to it. It's all just kind of a big jumbled mess. And this is kind of like, I really like this as a Grinch wreath, a Grinch themed wreath. My mom and dad do a Grinch theme in their house. And I absolutely love it because you just have, it's so whimsical and fun. You can have so much fun with it. So I'm just going to kind of put the truck there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here. And I'm going to take one of my pipe cleaners and I'm just going to secure it with a couple pipe cleaners. Like so. And then you just kind of take the extra and wrap it around the post like that. And then it shouldn't go anywhere. So yeah, and we could add some more. If I had more, I could add some things. So it would be really fun to do some of the little, like little puff balls that look kind of like cotton balls. Do some of those picks or do different things. You can do a ton of stuff with this. And you can do this in pretty much any color that you want. Any color combo that you want. You can do this for any season. You just have to, you know, buy things that would fit with that season. But I hope you guys enjoy. I'm super excited to give this lady her wreath. I think she'll absolutely love it. She's kind of fun-loving. She's a little quirky. So I think this wreath will fit her personality with the bright colors and everything like that. So I do have a few minutes that I need to fill. So what we're going to do is I'm going to actually go ahead and keep going on the questions. So when you were a kid, did you help your parents decorate the tree? I did. So my grandma is not like a real big Christmas person. Like she likes Christmas, but I think, you know, after you've decorated for like 60 years, it kind of gets old. So there was a point where she didn't really want to do it anymore. And so what we did was she would let us get the tree out and let us decorate it. But she usually made us wait till just a couple of days before Christmas. So I think that's part of the reason that I put my tree up so early is because as a kid I had to wait and it felt like forever. You know, when you're a kid, you can't put your tree up till like 2 or 3 days before Christmas. Yeah. But again, we also had pets. We had little ones, little kids, and you know, things like that. So there was a lot of reasons I can understand now why she may not want the tree up. I have some of these left over. I'm just going to go back in and fill in some, what I feel like are holes in different spaces. So we're just going to keep doing that. What does your family usually eat for Christmas dinner? So growing up, we had basically the same thing that we had at Thanksgiving, we would also have for Christmas. So turkey, ham, dressing, you know, fruit salad, green bean casserole, all of that kind of stuff. It was basically the same menu. You might have a few extra things, like you might have an apple pie instead of a pumpkin pie, you know, or something along those lines. But it was basically the same thing. So actually what we do now is we tend to have, we'll do like a soup, or we'll have, and we always have tamales, which I actually have to get this week. I have to get our Christmas tamales to have. But we'll do like a soups around the world. So we'll have like 2 or 3 different soups in the crock pot. And then we can just kind of eat on them all day as you kind of want to graze. You can do that at your leisure. So I really like that. But yeah, we'll do like a tamales and maybe some rice or something along those lines now for dinner. And then, you know, we might do ham or something. What is your favorite holiday movie? So my favorite holiday movie is White Christmas. I have actually never seen It's a Wonderful Life. I have never seen A Christmas Story all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces. I've seen all the important parts of it. I know what the story is about, but I've never actually seen it from beginning to end. So yeah, somebody's probably going to get real offended by that. But, you know, I'm just not a slapstick comedy kind of girl, so it doesn't really do anything for me, I guess. Let's see. Would you ever celebrate Christmas someplace warm like Hawaii? Maybe once, but basically Christmas in Texas is warm, so I feel like it would be kind of like being at home. I think if I got to go somewhere cold, maybe like, you know, Michigan or somewhere like that for Christmas, that would probably be a different experience than what I actually experience every year. So I think that would be a really cool thing to do, is actually have a really cold white Christmas. Do you like the taste of eggnog? I actually really enjoy the taste of eggnog, but a little bit's enough, if that makes sense. So I usually only need like a little, you know, 2 or 3 fingers of it, and that's about all I need in one sitting. And then I'll have it, you know, maybe once or twice during the holiday season, and that's it for me. That's all I really need. Do you send holiday cards? I actually do send holiday cards most years. In fact, I sent out 65 cards next week. So quite a few of you that may be watching this may be getting a card in the mail. If you want a card and you did not get a card, please let me know, and I will be happy to send you one. I sent one to basically all of the addresses that I had available in my database for my YouTube friends, because you guys have made this past year a really cool one. I've met a ton of new people. I've made some really awesome close friends. I've been, you know, I've been a part of this community now for about a year. I started a YouTube channel. There's so much that has changed from this time last year to where we are now. I just want to say thank you to all of you that do watch, that you subscribed, that you support me, that you say hi in a live chat. You know, anything like that. I've had quite a few harebrained schemes this year that have thankfully worked out for the best. We've had 4 DP-a-thons. We've raised nearly $1,000 for charity just in our little community alone. We have some big things coming up in 2020. Several of us creators have some plans that everybody will probably really, really enjoy. I'm looking forward to finding new diamond painting companies, to meeting more new people, and just continuing to be a great craft for people to pick up to help them with whatever is going on in their lives. Excuse me, guys. I did get a special surprise in the mail that I was not expecting, and it just really touched me and made me so appreciative that so many of you are so thoughtful. You know, a genuine thank you, a genuine well done really does mean a lot to so many people, but especially to me. So thank you so much. I'm going to sign off, say Merry Christmas to everyone. I hope you have a very happy New Year. I hope you are all safe. Be safe when you travel, if you're traveling. Do everything that you can do to make this a good experience for yourself. Christmas is hard for me too. I get it. But you just have to keep pressing on sometimes and do what you can do, and don't stress yourself out about it if you can't do more than that. Do something for somebody else that might help. You know, even if it's just something like this, if it's baking some, you know, cookies, or sending a text that just says, I hope you're having a good day. You know, reach out to other people. I think that's really what Christmas is about, is reaching out, supporting other people, being there for each other, and hopefully you can carry that with you through the entire year. So I'm going to be a few minutes short. I hope I don't get in trouble, but I'm going to end the video here. I really do hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas. I hope that these videos have helped, these premieres, if you are alone, that you're not feeling so lonely. I hope that you've enjoyed these. I hope you enjoyed the wreath. I hope you make your own wreath. If you do, please send me pictures. If you like what I got, don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell, and I will see you guys in the new year. Well, I'll probably see you tomorrow. Like, let's be honest. Somebody's going to go live the day after Christmas. I'm probably going to be there. Either way, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. If you don't celebrate Christmas, if you don't celebrate anything, happy Wednesday. and I will talk to you very, very soon. I love you guys. Bye.